Welcome to the edge of something spooky and creepy. I'm your host, Swift Edge, and today we are playing the demo for a game called Prophecy. This is a cryptid-based puzzle walking horror simulator type game where we are experiencing, I believe the cryptid is a Mothman. Yes, that Mothman. I don't know much about it. I saw someone playing this game a couple weeks ago. The beginning of it looked really fun, looked really creepy, so right away I hopped on Steam and went, I'm gonna play it now. Like, look at that! Tell me that's not Mothman! Okay, let's go play. Well, we're driving. I think we're driving up to a farm? I think is what the pictures were showing and everything. It looked like it. Gloom Dreary Games. Based on true events inspired by the legend of the Mothman. I knew
December
it.
10th, 1967. I got a letter that said, "Come home, Caleb. Under the starlit sky, the cowboy sings." The name on the envelope said, Joseph Dewstring, my dad's name. The strange thing was, my dad died a few weeks ago. I had avoided going back to our farmhouse after his death, but that letter shook me to my core. It's time to finally go back home.
Oh, that's a nice creepy intro to the game.
December 15th, 1967.
Wow,
I
we're
found
going way
myself
back.
driving to my childhood home in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, after swearing I'd never go back.
Okay. Oh, that's really slow and laggy on my end. Can I alter that at all, please? Okay, so unfortunately, I can't really alter that. Could you not? Dear Caleb, I hope you're doing well. As you requested, I've obtained your father's autopsy report and took it to the farmhouse. None of the farmhands were there at the time as I slid it under the front door. After the autopsy, your father's body was transported to Grayvale Funeral Home where he had a plot purchased. I spoke with their staff and they said once you get into town, you can call them at scheduled time to make arrangements for the funeral. I left their business card for you too. I am sorry for your loss. Joe was a friend of mine. He was a good man and loved you very much. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Robert T. Wilson. Okay, so we got a letter a few weeks after our father had passed. Wait. I'm pressing the button for the flashlight.
It was late when I arrived, and the farmhands would surely be gone for the day.
Mm-hmm. Going way back into the 1960s. I'm walking a little bit faster, that's it. It's not by
My
much.
stomach turned in knots. I hadn't set foot in that place in 6 years. Not since the falling out I had with my dad.
Wait, does the doorbell actually work?
The front door was locked. I knew Dad kept a spare key in the shed somewhere.
What shed are you talking about? Am I able to access it over here? Yeah, so obviously our character has experienced loss. That's never an easy thing. And then getting a letter, because again, everything was done by letters, because I don't even... On the precipice of cosmic consciousness.
Whether it's extraterrestrial signals, interdimensional whispers, or even the spirits of the ancients, we're picking up on something truly extraordinary to our electronics.
I mean, I guess back in the 1960s, a lot of things would have been like, yo, that's really sick. Yo, that's really cool. Oh my gosh, this is something else entirely. What shed am I going into, by the way? I can't go much in there. It is kind of hard to see a lot of this. I might have to turn up the brightness in post just to make sure, or maybe in post it'll be easier. But right now, it is a little difficult to see all this. Okay. But yeah, so we've experienced loss, and now we're going back home to try and do our best to handle everything else from our father's estate, I'm assuming. Okay. Oh, okay, the flashlight actually does work, thank God. This was gonna be not fun if it wasn't really gonna be that bright. Items are automatically used on interaction. Okay. It's just a repeating radio call. I don't need to worry about the tap. Can I turn that off? or it can shut off for me. That's fine too. I don't know much about Mothman, but I didn't know he had magical hands like that. Who are they? I don't know yet, but I think they're closing in on me. Should I be more careful? Maybe I can throw them off. Make it harder for them to figure out what I'm doing. I'll start by boarding up the shed.
Who was Dad talking about? He was paranoid about something.
Obviously, because was trying to keep people out of the shed, so obviously there was something he was worried about. Was he feeling like he was being spied on? Obviously. Did he feel like they were really, really close? Obviously. But I think he was probably thinking
The thought of walking into our house and seeing my dad sitting on the couch, watching his favorite television program, kept creeping into my mind. That thought was crushed by the reality that he was gone.
Can't even imagine what that's like. I mean, must be nice having a very close relationship with your dad, but as someone who didn't, for me, it was just like, oh, he's gone. Okay.
What?
I sound so heartless, but I'm being serious. When you don't have a relationship with someone, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, I'll bare my soul to you. So, but obviously our dad was experiencing something. He thought it was people, but that's also the starting note. We're probably going... Yes, thank you. Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff in here. At least the power works. Don't need the flashlight then. Let's close that behind us. Actually, maybe we do still need it. But I'm assuming that as the notes go on, because we're probably going to find more notes throughout this demo and probably the full game, and probably it's going to go from like, who are they, to what is it? Who is it? Where did this thing come from? Probably along those lines, as most horror games kind of do, when you think that you're dealing with people and then you find out you're actually dealing with an entity.
The house was a mess. What the hell happened?
Won't be able to listen without a tape player. Oh my gosh! I need me a tape player. Probably our dad's thoughts and remaining memories, or a warning.
My dad was a painter, but I had never seen that one before. Why did it remind me of something? Then I remembered the note he sent. Under the starlit sky, the cowboy sings. What the hell did it all mean?
I mean, what did cowboys do on the trail? When they stopped to have a fire, what'd they do? I'm gonna ring that bell again. I mean, I'm gonna ring that bell, but I'm gonna ring a bell again! One of Mom's prized vases. She loved collecting anything made of porcelain.
My family. We were in a car accident when I was 8. My mom, grandma, and grandpa died. My dad had to work really hard to keep the farm afloat after that.
In one swift accident, majority of your family's all gone, then it's left to you. Okay, little by little, we're getting more and more light flooding into this area, and that's perfect.
Oh my god. I knew my dad was a drinker.
Holy crap.
He never abused it. Damn. He lost all control.
That's a lot of beer. But again, he was probably getting afraid. I thought about calling Caleb, telling him I am selling the last of the animals. He was attached to them and took pride in making sure they were taken care of. I've decided not to call though. What the hell am I going to do with all those supplies I bought? I hate to admit it, but I'm avoiding Mitchell's calls. I don't have time to deal with that. I have interviews lined up with a few witnesses this week.
All the animals? Gone? I needed to find Fred, farmhand supervisor, and get some answers.
Okay, but like you said in the beginning, they're all gone because it's late, unless one of them's still behind. After we harvested blueberries, Mom would make pie. Oh. Well, now I can't read cursive that well, I'm sorry. Like, it's a miracle that I read the first note. That's how a lot of people wrote back then. I hated learning that in school. That was my bane.
Who would call so late at night?
Someone who wants our attention. Someone to give us a warning, perhaps? Maybe. Well, maybe it's Mitchell. Guess all we can do is answer it.
Hello? Hello?
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Damn. The power had gone out before I could find out who that was. I would have to find a way to turn the power back on.
Caleb, I have a feeling you were never gonna find out who that was. You were never gonna know. Because I don't think it was... Thought I heard something. I don't think it was actually a person. I think it was an entity, which, again, I don't know much about Mothman. But I thought it was just, you know, this big, giant, moth-like entity. I've not read that much into cryptids. Part of me feels like maybe I should have before playing this. Just so I could get a grasp on what the fudge Mothman was. Otherwise, someone, spill the lore down below in the comments, please. I beg you. I don't like the fact that I can barely see out there, because I thought for a second I saw an eye. Things aren't looking well. I've lost all the farmhands but one. Fred and his family are still here, but who knows for how much longer. They got a little boy and another one on the way soon. I'll have to cut his pay too, and then I really don't know what I'll do.
Dad was in financial trouble. Never said a word. We weren't on talking terms, but damn it. I wish he had just called me. That's stubborn, man.
As a way of a lot of farmers, it seems, a lot of them are very prideful and don't really want to open up and actually go like, hey, I'm in trouble. Okay, that's a person. That's a man in black. Aliens? Oh.
What the fuck? Was I imagining things? Who was that man? He didn't move, but I got the impression that he was pointing towards the backyard.
I didn't see his hands. Ding dong. So do you want me to go? I guess I gotta go find the backyard. Is it, maybe that's why he was thinking that actual people were after
I
him?
needed to find the farmhand manager, Fred. He was the only farmhand that lived on the grounds. He had a cabin near. I could have sworn the door to the backyard was closed.
Well, another door just closed. $10 says it's locked. Nope, never mind. It's... I'm gonna close it though. And this one's still very much open, so that one did close. So Fred had a house with his family on this, so obviously we would still be able to talk to him, but the rest of the farmhands were all let go. It would be kind of cool to own a large farm just for the sake of the houses. Just for that alone, I would love that. Isn't a lot of the...
The smell in the backyard brought back memories of my grandpa. We spent a lot of time in the garden together.
Those are happy memories. Can I... What is that? Oh, maybe that's like a bell for the animals to come get food? I don't like that. That looks like a face from afar. This was my favorite book. Growing up, there once was a two-headed oracle who sensed an impending curse on the land. The Sphinx called upon the luck dragon for guidance during the troubling times ahead. The dragon told the Sphinx to go see the three wise sages. The sages are wise but delight in treacherous deceit. Seek their wisdom and caution, said the dragon. What will we gain in return? Asked the sages in unison. The Sphinx oracle said, as seers, we are but servants to all kind, and our reward is to assure the prosperity of every being. The sage gave the Sphinx 3 gems and said, use them wisely. That was your favorite book? Okay, I think you could have read more, just saying. I like the fact that every single footstep I take is... Aren't a lot of the Mothman sightings usually done in forested areas, kind of like this, on singular homes or paths or trails? I've never really heard of people saying and claiming the sighting of a moth.
Not only was my dad a painter,
Man.
but he was also a skilled craftsman. He built a gazebo with his bare hands.
Oh my gosh, can your dad come build me a house, please? I would love that, especially in this economy. I can't pay much. I know he's dead, but I would love to raise him from the dead just to get a house. What? Joe, the reset lever should be working per your request. Oh, I think I gotta pull it in a... I think I gotta pull these in a way, maybe that will open up? Okay, we got a little note here, so... Yeah, but... Okay, so I was gonna say, I never really heard of Mothman sightings, you know, in rural cities and all that. Things sure have fallen apart in just a matter of a few years. The good memories in this garden are one of the things keeping me sane. My dad built this garden with his bare hands for my mom. It was his wedding gift to her when they moved in. I can picture Caleb playing out here when he was just a toddler, rolling around the dirt, making mud pies and playing hide and seek. That's an adorable memory. I mean, that's just kind of things that you did back then too. Like back in the 1960s, you just did stuff like that. So that 3. There is. They chime, like on a number count. Okay, so I gotta, cause that's 3. That one's 2 over there, and that one's 1. So I gotta do that. So give me a second. We're about to see if this works. Because there's no other box with a lever, right? So I got the first one down, and we're gonna do the second one. Beautiful. And now it's time for this one. Open sesame!
Open sesame!
I'm confused. Is there another one around here? Wait a minute, I just found this note because I just came back here. It's been over a year since he's been gone and I haven't talked to him once. When he got married a few months ago, his wife was the one to call me and break the news. She said Caleb doesn't want anything to do with me, but she thinks a father should know about his son's own marriage. So that's why she called. Okay. So at least your wife reached out. Wait, did the bells out there that I've been ringing around this house, does that have something to do with out here? Does it have something to do with the storybook? Because I'm reading it, I'm trying to pay attention to everything. Maybe it's also based on the pictures, because the Oracle has 2 heads, then there's just the dragon. Ah, it does pertain to the story, because the 2 heads, the 1 dragon, the 3 sages, that's what that is. Oh, I love that puzzle, that's really cool. See, I have moments in gaming where I'm like, I'm big brain, and then there's moments where I'm like, I have to look up. I have to look it up.
I've never seen that pillar before. It looked like it was missing pieces.
Oh joy, you're gonna send me on a hide and seek search? I just realized I actually had that on. Why are there constantly bells around here? It seems like there's a lot more. 3 phases of the moon. Do I have an? Okay, I do have an inventory. Square object. Am I... All of a sudden now the entire tone changed. There's music playing that feels very ominous. Do I have to start walking back through the house again to find stuff? I don't know, but I got some that says square piece, and the only other way I can go is through the house. There was an area I didn't walk into, and I don't think I've explored upstairs. Oh, wait a minute, I missed these. The funeral home card and the autopsy. I probably should have read
the coroner's
this.
report. It says his body was found in the TNT area. The hell was he doing out there?
Why would be in the TNT area? Death visible, no prominent cause of death visible on body, excessive swelling and redness of skin around the eyes. Decedent found by on-duty ranger. The only belongings on his person was his wallet. So there's no real probable cause for death. There's no real evidence to show how or why he died. Probably because cryptids don't do that. Interview with astronomer, professor, and ufologist. Oh, I probably didn't say that right. One simply doesn't pass up the chance to interview a reclusive subject of interest. That's why when my next assignment landed on my desk to interview the renowned Jeremy Alvin Heideck, I jumped at the chance. I traveled to the gloomy countryside of Wales, a setting fit for our upcoming conversation about the paranormal and unexplained. We met at the Wales Grudge, a local tavern in his hometown. One of the first topics I wanted to discuss with Heideck came with an anecdote. A dear friend of mine phoned me a week prior and told me about a local story in the paper about recent sightings. 10% of the population can see beyond the narrow spectrum of visible light. These thought projections are said to be visible to certain individuals. Manipulate these radio wave-like energies within the mind of the blank. This theory is nothing new. Hundreds of years Tibetans have believed, called tulpas, can argue that these may be okay. So there's a lot of redacted stuff here talking about both aliens and tulpas, which tulpas seem to be a recurring.
That door wasn't there before.
But we got the square object. See, gotta go back and forth. Now it'll open up. Because I think dear Dad, was hiding something up here.
I don't understand why my dad had let everything fall to ruin. It was unlike him. Maybe I could find answers upstairs.
Oh, here's to hoping. But yes, tulpas seem to be a common theme in a few horror games I've played over the past few months. Which tulpas, I only know it from Supernatural, which is like, it's a thought creature. It's a creature that only really takes form after people are really physically focusing and manifesting it into being. And that is where all of a sudden your thoughts now take manifestation and form and become a danger. And now it's, thank you, your thoughts just killed me! Hey, beautiful. And yes, I'm talking to Mothman, not you. A woman, her brother, and her 3-year-old daughter were driving near the TNT area. They were visiting relatives in that area. They got out of the car in front of their relative's house. Her brother went inside. The woman carrying her daughter saw a creature in the woods near the house. It paralyzed her, and the two fell to the ground. As soon as she regained the ability to move, she scooped up her daughter, ran inside, and called the police. Composite sketch from the witness statement drawn at the police station. And there begins the first sighting in this game of the Mothman. Can I take the bat with me? My old room. And everything is still fairly kept here.
Today's top story weighs heavily on the residents of Point Pleasant. A local farmer, identified as Joseph Dewspring, was discovered dead in the McClintock Wildlife Management Area yesterday afternoon. Could this incident be linked to the recent sightings of a winged, red-eyed creature? We spoke with a local reporter who interviewed an eyewitness who told their story. Thank you for agreeing to speak with me again today. So when was the last time you saw it?
It came back last night. It was standing in the woods near the barn. A tall, black figure. I couldn't make out any details except for the big red eyes. I was in a trance, completely paralyzed. Then I blacked out.
I want the bat. I want the bat. Why can I still hear the static long after? Oh, another note. I can't wait to get out of this dang house. I made the mistake of telling my dad that I thought I saw a figure out of the corner of my eye last night in the basement. He went on about how that's called anomalous phenomena, whatever the heck that means. Says I might have the same gift he has. Now, he gave me a book called The Book of the Damned. I'm going to throw it away in a few months. I'll be old enough to apply for that trucking job in Indianapolis. Then me and Gracie can get out of here, and I'm never turning back. Okay, so our wife's name is Gracie, I'm assuming, unless Gracie and Caleb broke up. Chances are they didn't. So, he's actually...
mad at him. It all seems so true to him now that he's gone.
That was a breath from deep down. So, obviously, the sightings of Mothman have been regular around here, even for Caleb. I'm ringing the bells, dude. Nah, why has it gotta be curled up like that? The deeper I dig, the more I feel I'm being watched. Building my little contraptions helps keep things safe and will throw them off. I never thought being a tinkerer would come in handy. So he built that door himself. He not only built the gazebo, but then he made the contraption for the levers, and then he built probably whatever that pillar is. So he is building all of this in hopes to defend his house and himself. Unfortunately, he was found
Grandma and Grandpa's room
wandering.
was disheveled, unrecognizable. What was Dad doing in here?
It's like that one episode from, it's Sunny in Philadelphia, isn't it? Where it's like, listen. Where there's just string everywhere and tacks on boards and walls, and it's like, yeah, we maybe need to take it to a doctor. Wait. He built the bells too? Is that an act of defense as well? Have I just been ringing it to defend myself without realizing it? Red-eyed creature reported in WVA. Point Pleasant, WVA, Washington, Virginia. 2 Point Pleasant couples spoke with police about their horrifying encounter on Wednesday at midnight. Their car was chased by a bird-like creature 6 to 7 feet in height with red eyes and a 10-foot wingspan. They told Mason County Sheriff deputies they were driving near the McClintock Wildlife Reserve when they encountered the thing. Its glowing red eyes had a hypnotic-like effect that captivated... Okay, so maybe that's why his dad went out, is because he got a little hypnotized by the creature and wandered out, and then it got him. What the... Oh, it's a map. Okay, South Power Plant, North Power Plant, ammonia oxidization plant, sulfuric. Okay, why is it keeping track of all that? That's obviously a UFO. That is unnerving pictures. Oh god, I'm gonna try and read it. An elderly man came to the Point Pleasant Times on November 3rd and asked for me. He said that last night something frightening happened to him and he wanted me to write a story about it in the paper. He said while watching television that night he saw a bright light in his front yard. He lives on a remote farm and couldn't imagine who it could be. He went outside and some strange man was standing next to a silver craft of some sort. The man spoke with him, but never moved his mouth. The witness was genuinely scared. He got nervous and ended up changing his mind about reporting the story. He left abruptly, not before I gave him my card, and told him to call me if he changes his mind. I'll keep you updated. Best, Mary. P.S. Could this be linked to the Mothman? So now they've already named it too. A National Guardsman on duty saw a large creature perched high on a tree above a fence bordering the base. And that was 1966. From November 1st all the way. That's a lot of sightings in 1 month. Holy crap, that's 7 sightings. The very next day, a traveling salesman sees a flying saucer and encounters a strange man. Man spots UFO, encounters a strange man. The man asks questions. Who are you? What time is it? 5 witnesses were digging a grave in Clendeman. That's Clendeman. Clendeman WV. They allegedly saw a figure lift off into the trees above. A farmer's dog was barking at a large creature with reflective red eyes. 2 young people drove up to the TNT area and were chased by the Mothman. A local woman encountered the Mothman. She got too close to it and the creature's red eyes disoriented her. She became paralyzed and blacked out. She woke up with severe pain in her eyes. She was diagnosed with conjunctivitis. This is groundbreaking, the first case of trace evidence. So that is probably what happened. That's why there's that pain in his eyes. Is because he got hypnotized and probably fell. But they said there wasn't a lot of evidence to show why he died. That's the only thing. Okay, is there anything else on here? Wait. Okay, well, there's nothing. I think we've looked at everything, eyed everything that's on there. So, he was really focused. Okay.
Caleb, there's a chance I may be gone when you find this recording. I'm sorry for how things turned out, but there are weird things going on. Start by checking the bookshelf downstairs under the vase. There's a key to the side shed. Be careful.
Well, thanks, Dad. Thanks for the warning.
Hearing my dad's voice brought a tear to my eye. My grieving was short-lived. Things were only getting stranger, and I had more questions than answers.
Yeah, because this leaves a lot to be desired for information. This is really well, beautifully paced. It's got a lot of good tone and atmosphere for freakiness, because of the long hallways, anything could really happen. Something might easily appear at the bottom of the steps. Thank God nothing did. I have chills because I'm creating and imagining certain things happening. Like, we have another tape right here, which I obviously want to play.
I finally found someone who believes me. A journalist here in town named Mary. She wrote a story in the local paper about a group of witnesses who told their story to the Point Pleasant Police Department. News of the Mothman has gone global because of that story. I told her I wanted to help, and she suggested I buy a tape player and record all my findings. We're going to get to the bottom of this, damn it.
So Joe was definitely determined. That's for sure. And, I mean, now he had aid. He had help in his crusade. So, I wonder if maybe that was Mary that tried calling us on the phone earlier. Maybe... I'm reaching, it could be her. Okay, so that's to the side shed. I've got a number of them out there, but I think the first one I interacted with was locked. I don't like the idea of going back outside, though. Talk of all the Mothman. I'm gonna have to probably run to my car at some point in the full game. Thank you. I'm gonna... Again, I'm not entirely certain what that could be. Let's listen to this first.
I happened to come across a rerun of a television interview. A man named Warren said that on November 2nd, 1966, he was on an isolated road when a gigantic unidentified flying object landed in front of his car. The door on the object opened and a man wearing a black suit stepped out. Now, I don't know if this is just a coincidence or not, but the day Warren had this encounter was exactly 1 day after the sighting of the Mothman by the National Guardsman. Are these two incidents somehow linked? I need to bring this up to Mary. I'll gather as much information as I can and present it to her.
One day after.
Warren's encounter reminded me of the man I saw in the window. Thought of seeing him again sent a chill down my spine. I tried to shake it off. There was no way. I must have imagined that.
I really wish I could be on board with you on that one, but I'm not, unfortunately. Rope, metal, handle, reset lever on gazebo. Yes. So that was beautiful. I like that puzzle. That was really cool. I didn't want to look. I really didn't want to turn the page, but I also had to, because you never know, and I now regret that decision. I saw a bright light in the sky over the barn tonight. As much as I want Mary and I to get answers, I'm scared of actually encountering this man. I'm coming up with different ways to keep intruders out and away from my findings. I encountered him! I regret encountering him. I regret coming home. Dad, why? The flying object was described as oval in shape and bright silver. A panel running along the length of the craft emitted a warm light. The man came out of a door in the middle. Kind of reminds me of an Advil pill. But a little skinnier. I don't want to turn. 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 Wait, what was that key? Basement key. Great. Cool. Get me back inside. Get me back inside. Get me back inside. Get me back inside, because I have a fear of being out here now. Although I'm pretty sure, you know, man could just walk in if he wanted to. Can I? Okay, so obviously I can't use that. Where would I find the basement? Fudge off.
Power had gone out. What the fuck was going on?
I don't know, but that scared the crap out of me. Whoever you are, you're rude.
Hello?
Mary?
Does Joe live here?
No.
It was that son of a bitch from the window.
How do you know? I mean, it's obvious, but how do you know?
I am the searcher. I need to speak with him.
I needed to find a way to turn the power back on so I could call the police.
I don't want to go in the basement. I really don't. I really don't want to go in the basement. Of course, I'm leaving doors open. That's freaking great. Because F my survival, right? Who needs to survive in a horror game? Is it over here? Is the basement over here? It wouldn't be that door, because that door's leading out. Okay, so then where? Over here? All the way? Really?
Dad rarely let me come down here. He was always messing with the pipes and valves.
A basement is an important structural part of a house. Oh, maybe the bells are to use to let people know that, like, hey, I'm still alive. Maybe Caleb needs some space to clear his head. I respect his decision, but dang, do I miss him. I just hope him and Grace are doing all right. At least I still have the farm hands to keep me company and help run this place.
One of my sources connected me with a man in the National Guard. The man asked to remain anonymous. He was reluctant to tell me his story until I told him there were other sightings. He was relieved to hear that and told me that it made him feel just a little less crazy. On November 1st, 1966, he was on duty and saw a human-sized figure perched in a tree just above the fence bordering the Point Pleasant Engineer Battalion headquarters. It was too dark to make out any fine details, but it was unmistakably a man-shaped figure. He left to get his partner, but when they returned, the creature was gone. According to my timeline, this is possibly the first sighting of the Mothman.
I mean, I can understand one's not wanting to be speaking about that story, because then you sound crazy, you feel like you're going nuts. And then you get that nice reassurance that, like, dude, you're not the only one. Like, everyone's been experiencing this. What is this? Hey, Joe, the furnace door sticks, turning the light. Fire on loosens it up. The valves have been... I can't make that out, but that looks like the moon key. Fuse needs to be replaced. Great. Love that. And that's sticking. Do I trust opening this door? Oh my god. Okay. The valves have been lately. In order to turn, you'll want to, in specific order, turn them in. So if I turn them wrong, am I gonna die? Should I be doing this? Should I be eyeing the pipes? Trying to find a way to do this? That one's a lot smaller than, like, the rest of them. I'm trying to think, like, maybe size-wise. Okay, so that turns it that way. That was such a lucky fudging guess! Holy moly. That was incredible. Small moon. Okay, so I got not only the key, but now the part for it. Fortunately, I can't get the power back on, because I don't have a fuse. And you would think that there would be something down here. Well, I mean, something's down here. You're not gonna use a basement and not scare me, are you? Oh! Oh! Ah!
What the fuck was that?
I knew it! I knew the scare was coming! I knew the scare was coming! It's the Mothman! It's the Mothman! Ring the bell! Ring the bell! Ring it! Ring it! Ring it! First the man in black, who claims he's a searcher. And then that? Really? Ring that bell. I don't want to go outside. I really don't. Because this just seems like I'm opening myself up to pain and suffering. Why does it always feel like my webcam, I'm just, like, way out of the shot? My post self is gonna hate me. Okay, so I got the key. I got the part. Come on. Open up. Open up for me. Okay, now what? Now what? Is there 3 phases of the moon? Okay, so now what do I do? I'm gonna end up wandering aimlessly around here at this point, just trying to find... Oh, this is blocked off now. I can't even go back this way. No, wait. Yes, I can. Oh my gosh, my brain! It stopped working for a good couple minutes. Yes, let's calm it down. Everything's fine. For the most part. Is there anything upstairs that requires the moon key? Wait a minute. Oh! Oh! Okay. Okay, so I brute forced it to get the piece. Okay, now that I did that. Basement pipe diagram to furnace. Yeah, so I kind of already did that. I got that piece. Oh, fudge me! Okay, now you're ramping up the scores a bit.
Something was walking on the roof.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was described as like 6 to 7 feet tall. It's not out of the thought process, especially like how dense is his body? How much do you bench, my man? My thing? My creature? My entity? I don't know what to call you! Oh yeah, let me go outside when it's on my roof. Cause this is freaking brilliant. Watch it take off and scoop me. Can I see it at least? Do I want to see it at least? Not really, not particularly, but I'm also kind of wanting to. Okay, so I got this. That should be... Then I gotta get another part. Wait, where did I think... I swear to God, I saw another piece like that. Where did I see a piece like that? I thought it was like a banana. Where was that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Give me a moment. Oh my God, I missed it. And it was all the way up here. It was all the way in my own room. I could have grabbed both pieces. I've been walking around this entire house for like 5 to 8 minutes. So unsure. Because I don't know why. In the back of my mind, I was like, that looks like a really weird banana. Or is it a banana piece of a puzzle? I don't know. Why didn't I think? Maybe I should investigate that. Here we are. I have a feeling that once we put this in there, we're gonna have another encounter. Oh! Yeah! Little bit! A little bit! You blacked out! I did! Holy crap! Okay. That was prophecy. I don't know if I could have gone back into the house in time. I probably had to get one of the bells to ring. Holy fudge, is that actually the end of it? I have a feeling it was. I'm kind of wanting to see if anyone else has played this to just double check. Okay, so from everything I'm seeing, I think I got very, very far. And yeah, that was prophecy. That was a really fun demo. I love the puzzles. I love the look of it. I love the story of it. I love just all these different elements that are added in, and it makes this really fun, really cool, spooky game, and I cannot wait to play the full game. I'm definitely going to keep my eye out on it. If you want to go check it out for yourself, link in the description below to go and check it out. It is very fun, it's very cool, but you need to go play it to get the full experience, and I recommend that you do. If you enjoyed this as much as I did, make sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought about this. If there are any games that you see me play for future videos or series, leave a suggestion right down below, take them all into consideration. And if you're new around here and you've been enjoying what you're seeing, why not click that subscribe button and click that bell to get notified of my next video. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!